And this election will be no different. The political parties will be fighting for the hearts and minds of all voters, but in particular those of Ontario's suburban constituency. On Steeles Avenue, I'm Wilson Lee for Cable Pulse 24.
And we took it to you tonight to find out if you would vote Mike Harris back into office. Here are the results of our unofficial phone poll. Now, the question was, does Mike Harris get your vote in the next election? Answer: 3,551 say they will vote for Harris. 8,280 say no way. And one of the main planks in the Tory platform is workfare. Ontario Social Services Minister Janet Ecker stopped by our studios earlier today to explain the big push to get more folks on welfare working.
There are still, unfortunately, over 600,000 people that are still on welfare. That's why the Premier is talking about expanding the program, removing any barriers that people may have, whether it's a lack of education, whether it's drug addiction. Our job is to remove those barriers so we can help them get a job.
The workfare program has drawn criticism since its inception. Harris is promising to expand the program if he gets re-elected. It would mean, for example, that anyone suspected of drug and alcohol abuse would face mandatory testing and rehab, and if they didn't comply, benefits would be cut off. Taking a look now at another protest, and this one over skyrocketing gas prices. As videographer Dwight Drummond tells us, drivers were supposed to skip the pumps in a one-day demo to teach the big oil companies a lesson, but it didn't really work out that way.
No gas today! No gas! No gas!
I have to go to the cottage, so I have no gas. I have no choice. Otherwise, I wouldn't fill it up because, you know, I would support the price down. Definitely.
At the beginning of the month, this email message started spreading across Canadian computer screens, urging everyone to gas out today and not buy any gasoline. It says if there was just one day when no one bought gas, the prices would drop drastically.
We're here saying we're sick and tired of the prices being fixed, especially on long weekends. And, you know, people don't want to take it anymore. And they're saying that we're going to fight back by one day. Don't buy from the big ones. You can buy from the independent, but don't buy from the big companies today.
We're both prepared, so we're not going to be getting gas today.
Do you think that this is going to be effective? You might send a message today?
No, not by the amount of people driving in, but somebody had a good thought in their head. Maybe if we all get together, change and do it for a while, but you can only go so long, unfortunately.
I'm not sure if it's the gas company alone. I have no idea of, you know, who does it. Maybe the government too. Everybody has to make his money. C'est la vie.
So was the great gas out a success today? According to my informal survey of downtown gas stations, they didn't see any decrease in business today. And they say for those people who didn't show up, well, they'll have to show up eventually. At Parliament in Richmond, Dwight Drummond, Cable Pulse 24.
You can bet those cottage-bound people were filling up their tanks tonight. Let's take a look at our getaway routes this hour. For that, we're headed over to the Chum Radio newsroom. Mike Lane joins us live from there. Hi, Mike.
How you doing, Larissa?
How do those highways look out there at this hour?
Well, cottage-bound, actually not too bad. I do want to show you some major delays. Westbound Gardner on the Toronto transportation cameras. These people aren't headed to the cottage. They just want to get out of the downtown core. This is, again, westbound Gardner through the Bathurst area. As you can see, a little bit slow end, off and on. The Gardner slow from Bathurst all the way out to Parkside Drive. So if you're headed to the downtown core, give yourself a lot of time because we also have this, well, this being some clear traffic down on the lakeshore around British Columbia Drive. Took a look at that not 2 or 3 minutes ago when it was still pretty crammed. So that's good news. That's starting to slow, and let's take a look at, or starting to improve. And let's take a look at the Bell Eyes of Toronto. This through Lawrence northbound, still a little bit heavy. Again, people trying to get out of the downtown core. Southbound, though, actually moving fairly well through Lawrence. And over to the MTO compass cameras, we can see the 401 doing very well in the west. This is through Martin Grove. Take a look at it through Yonge. Again, no problems there. And out to the east, again, the 401 doing very well across the city. Do have some minor delays. Rutherford Road between Dufferin and Bathurst had an earlier collision there. It's still shut down, so it's closed between, or on Rutherford between Dufferin and Bathurst as well. Had a chemical spill earlier today, about 10:30 this morning. Highway 25 and Highway 5. Highway 5 is reopened, but I just got off the phone with Halton Police. They're saying 25 still shut down between Upper Middle Road and Burnhamthorpe. But all in all, the major expressways, not too bad as long as you're not getting out of the downtown core. Larissa?
Sounds good. Are we going to talk to you later on tonight?
Sure am.
Okay, have a good evening till then. Well, you know, the weather gods are blessing us with more sunshine in the forecast for the entire weekend. Our Weather Watch starts off with a look at today's highs. Here's our weather map. We're starting off with tonight's lows, and it'll drop down to 6 in Kingston, Peterborough, Muskoka, and Barrie. For tonight in Toronto, we're looking at a low of 8 degrees, 7 in the Falls, 7 the low in London, and in Sarnia, 8 the low in Windsor. Now, tomorrow's highs, you can expect Windsor to climb up to a balmy 23, much the same in Sarnia, 22 the high in London, the Falls, Toronto, Barrie, and same thing up in Muskoka. In Peterborough, they're expecting a high of 25 for tomorrow, 22 the expected high in Kingston, 24 in Ottawa, 14 in in Vancouver for tomorrow, 15 in Edmonton, 24 in Regina, 26 in Winnipeg. In Toronto, we're looking at a high of 22 tomorrow, 17 Quebec, 12 in Charlottetown, and the East St. John's, 10 degrees. We're taking a look at the current cloud cover now, and we're in the midst of an early taste of summer, folks. A high-pressure area is firmly stuck over the Great Lakes. It's going to remain for some time. It's going to bathe us in sunshine, warm air, mercury soaring to the mid-20s right on through the weekend.
Cable Pulse 24 weather, brought to you by 680 News.
The horror of the Tabor, Alberta shooting and last week's massacre in Colorado is reverberating through one Mississauga high school. Videographer Dominic Schulo finds that malicious threats of students, staff, and parents on edge.
We were just thinking, this is John Fraser. It's not supposed to happen here. And, people are saying that there's, a death list or hit list. And they're going to, they already have 2 people on the hit list that they want to catch first.
Yeah.
So
at this school?
Yeah, at this school. So we're all worried.
A recent incident of vandalism that made reference to the tragedy in Colorado has both parents and students here at John Fraser Secondary very concerned about their safety.
There was a graffiti in the boys' washroom. It said, if you thought Colorado was bad, wait till you see me. And so they just locked all the boys' bathrooms, and they locked all the doors that, aside from the front doors from the outside.
So these are locked now?
Yes.
They've been kept locked?
The one that had the vandalism was kept locked immediately.
Is there a sense of overreaction to any kind of incident lately?
I think there's a really everybody's highly sensitized to any incidents that refers to violence, and especially in schools. And the kids, as all of the parents in the community, we're nervous that these types of things that can happen.
You have to be concerned that if there is an allegation or a threat, that it has to be investigated properly.
Peel Regional Police and John Fraser Secondary School tell me that they're going to be looking for this suspect who's responsible for the graffiti. And they say that the teachers will be talking about this incident next week in class with their students and encouraging them to report any acts of vandalism. Dominic Schulo, Peel Regional Headquarters, Cable Pulse 24.
Taking a look at the CP24 World Watch, and tonight a bomb blast rips through London's busy Soho district.
Let's stay this well, please. Let's stop moving away, please.
2 people dead, another 13 injured after a bomb leveled a gay bar in the city's Soho district. The 3rd blast in just 2 weeks. Last Saturday, a nail bomb in the city's Bangladeshi community hurt 7. And a week earlier, 39 residents of London's Afro-Caribbean community were injured when a nail bomb exploded in Brixton. No one has claimed responsibility for the latest attack. Kosovar refugees will be calling Canada very soon. Plans revived tonight to accept 5,000 of them here in Canada at the UN request. Immigration Minister Lucien Robillard says the refugees will begin arriving on Monday. About 300 people a day will be airlifted to Canada over the next 2 weeks. Meanwhile, peace plans are going full steam ahead as Foreign Affairs Minister Lloyd Axworthy meets with Russian officials in Moscow. Axworthy believes Russia's cooperation is crucial because of the country's close relationship with Serbia. The 2 countries agree the war should end with a full withdrawal of Serbian troops from Kosovo and a halt in NATO's bombing campaign. Reverend Jesse Jackson in Belgrade tonight working to free 3 captured American soldiers, but Jackson was told they won't be released until the hostilities end. Jackson's visit with the trio was cut short when air raid sirens went off. And in Brazil tonight, the country's increasingly frustrated workers have taken to the streets to rail against government policies. Protesters are furious over record job loss and social suffering caused by the country's economic crisis. Work stoppages are also in the works at schools and factories, with mass rallies in all state capitals planned for tomorrow. We're headed for a break here on CP24. When we return, though, David Onley introduces us to the world's first solar-powered phone. Stay with us for that.
An air conditioning system must be reliable because service calls can be expensive. That's why people everywhere rely on Carrier indoor weather systems. And Carrier's most advanced systems, designed around the new chlorine-free, ozone-friendly refrigerant called Puron, are our most reliable yet. Chlorine-based systems will soon be history, but count on Carrier for a comfortable future in whatever space you call home. Carrier, custom-made indoor weather.
I'm Ironhead Hayward. I'm used to challenges, and I challenge you to try Zest Deodorant Body Wash. Now, I hear you snickering.
But Ironhead, aren't body washes for ladies?
Ow! Listen, chump, Zest doesn't have heavy moisturizers.
But Ironhead, what's with this thingy?
That lather builder works with Zest Body Wash to give you twice the fresh-smelling lather of this bar, and it rinses cleaner, so you're cleaner, refreshed, period.
Zest Body Wash. Get cleaner and refreshed.
Get zestfully clean.
Well, if you're in High Park this summer in the isolated Spring Road area, you'll find a new high-tech safety feature, a solar-powered distress phone. David Onley tells us more.
Hello, this is the response center. How may I help you?
We've got a person who's fallen off their bike, and I think they've broken their leg.
Will you stay with that person until the help arrives?
Sure.
A media demo, yes, but with direct links to 11 Division Police. 2 minutes later, help arrives, courtesy of Toronto Hydro's first solar-powered emergency distress cell phone system.
We thought this was a good opportunity to work with the city and with the Toronto Atmospheric Fund, and particularly the issue of safety was something that compelled us to, ensure that the community here was comfortable, and this made a lot of sense to us.
The idea came about 2 years ago after a flasher alarmed residents in the area. Park users decided to take action.
What clearly came out in the public meeting was that this was an isolated area in the park, and that they felt that if there was a phone, that people would feel comfortable in this area of High Park.
Not always so comfortable walking around in the evening time, and it's nice to know that if I needed to, I could get a hold of someone.
It's just a secluded part of the park, and it's nice to have that option.
Well, if it becomes cloudy for more than 40 days in a row, then we're in trouble. The technology consists of not only a solar panel, but a battery that can store the power that's generated by the solar panel.
The solar-powered cellular distress phone adds a new dimension of safety here in High Park, and once they get it fully accessible, which they say is coming, everyone will be able to use it. From High Park, David Onley, Cable Pulse 24.
And the Borders bookstore chain is in trouble over breastfeeding. It started when a mother began breastfeeding her baby at a Borders store in Glendale, California. Both an employee and a manager told her to stop. Chain, though, has since apologized, but the woman says she'll see them in court. We're headed for a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some of the stories that are making headlines today.
We can pass it all if the American people want it badly enough. And we don't need to go through another Littleton for the American people to want it badly enough.
You can blame the parents, but it's not necessarily their fault. I blame it on all of society because we are so into letting children become independent people.
I do think that the parents should be at fault. I think it could have been prevented had it been looked into properly.
When are the schools going to be taken off their pedestals and investigated? Why is it so hard to believe that school life can be a living hell for the outcasts and losers that don't happen to fit the in-group mold?
This type of thing is expected to happen because of today's society. We've become very greedy. Kids are sent off to babysitters at a very, very early age, and they're not raised in the home where they get love and support.
Mother of all movie theaters is coming for you. Famous Players Colossus. Expect the unexpected.
I'm Ironhead Hayward. I'm used to challenges, and I challenge you to try Zest Deodorant Body Wash. Now, I hear you snickering.
But Ironhead, aren't body washes for ladies?
Ow! Listen, chump. Zest doesn't have heavy moisturizer.
But Ironhead, what's with this thingy?
That lather builder works with Zest Body Wash to give you twice the fresh-smelling lather of this bar. And it rinses cleaner, so you're cleaner, refreshed, period.
Zest Body Wash. Get cleaner and refreshed.
Get zestfully clean.
The revolutionary Braun Oral-B 3D. It's the only plaque remover designed to pulsate deep between teeth. It pulsates to loosen plaque and oscillates to sweep it away. It cleans deep, better than an ordinary toothbrush. The Braun Oral-B 3D. It pulsates deep to clean better. Now is the perfect time to change the way you brush, because Braun Oral-B plaque removers are specially priced.
Leon's no money miracle ends soon.
When I open the door, the light goes on. When I close it, it goes off. Way cool.
Right now, you'll find miraculous prices throughout the store. Plus, you pay no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments for 1 whole year.
After 15 minutes in that chair, my wife is transformed into a completely different being.
Hurry into Leon's today and witness the miracle for yourself.
Welcome back. We're recapping the day's top stories for you now on CP24. And earlier today, Premier Mike Harris reiterated his promise to cut personal income and property taxes by 20% if elected. He brushed aside criticisms that the previous 30% tax cut implemented by his government has benefited mainly top income earners. He's expected to call an election after Tuesday's budget comes down. He said the additional cuts will have short-and long-term effects on the economy.
No gas today! No gas!
Well, the idea was to avoid filling up your car with gas today in order to drop the price of gasoline.